Hoi hoi, we zijn nog steeds bij de Pavo Tristan Tukkerdag, welke dit jaar voor de tweede keer door Pavo is georganiseerd. In de vorige aflevering konden we nog zien hoe Tristan aan de slag ging met de paarden van Irene en Renate. In dit deel zien we hoe Tristan op het paard van Irene stapt, hoe het paard van Danielle leert hoe hij moet omgaan met alle attributen van Tristan. En tenslotte geeft Tristan nog een demonstratie met het paard dat volgens hem het meest luie paard is dat je ooit hebt gezien.
So again, in the beginning, I just get him that I have a little bit control of the neck because I want to be able to keep the bending. If he's straight in his body, that's the worst possible position I can be in. And then he starts with weight over the front legs. And when I feel that he puts his head a little bit to the right, then I hold the pressure of the rein. When he follows the rein, then I take the pressure off. When he relaxes, I go away from him. So again, all the concepts that he knows from the other things, he can then apply to when you get on. When you put the foot in the stirrup, when you apply the weight, he's not thinking this way, a state of readiness. He's getting into a state of relaxation. So then again, and I just look that he folds a bit in the body. When I put a little bit weight on the front legs, and I pull a bit the weight to the side, he's thinking about being grounded and being stable, and not about getting tense and getting lighter in the feet. So it has to be that I can put a bit weight over him. And again, when he says, "Oh, what are you doing back there?" And again, I take the pressure off him. Good boy. And then a week of practicing this, and then you have a horse. He looks like a horse from the manege. We have to ride today. Instead of a horse from the bullfighting ring that's ready to kill something. That's good. So I just try to teach them all the things they need to know before I get on, before I turn, before I steer. He needs to know, even in this little process, what I'm going to do. I'm going to put weight. I could slap him. I could kick him accidentally in the arse. And I have to teach him that before. I have to feel, what are you going to do if I accidentally do that? And teach him that this is what he needs to do when I accidentally do that. So then in the end, he thinks he's controlling me. Good boy. That's good. And I move him again a bit that he stays stable. Touch him in all the areas where I know he's going to be a bit tense. Slide a bit around on him. That's good. Oh, sorry.
De verbazing naar te kijken hoe hij er gewoon, of nou ja gewoon, hoe hij er uiteindelijk zo opsprong zonder zadel en gewoon, ja, vind ik heel gaaf. Ik vond het echt heel gaaf om te zien hoe dat hij dat deed, ja.
And so this for me is just an important breakdown on a horse that is a little bit afraid, of the rider or being on him, because it's a separation between the saddle and the bridle, having all the other pressures. He can just deal with me and his own body and my weight over him and around him, and the weight over the front end and over the back end. You can see me right eye, left eye. I touch him in all the places I know he's going to be nervous. Kick him in the arse so that if you get on accidentally.
Ik ben heel blij dat ik nou deze les heb gehad. Dat ik ook een beetje bevestiging heb gekregen dat hij lichamelijk echt niks mankeert. Osteopaat erbij gehad, alles. De dierenarts. En ja, die zeiden ook van nee, het is... Lichamelijk is die gewoon in orde. Maar ja goed, er kan altijd meer aan de hand zijn dan dat ze zeggen natuurlijk. Maar je gaat zo twijfelen aan alles. En je weet op een gegeven moment ook niet meer... Wat is nou goed? Wanneer doe ik het goed? Je wordt zo onzeker zelf ook van... en je probeert het natuurlijk niet over te brengen op je paard. En als je met hem bezig bent... Gewoon de rust nemen en gewoon oké. En dat lukt op zich wel hoor. Maar het is wel heel lastig om met een paard te werken die... Ja, ik ben zelf nog onkundig om het zo maar te zeggen. Ik heb nooit een eigen paard gehad. En om dan meteen zo'n paard waarvan ik dacht dat hij al verder was... eigenlijk een veel groener paard gekocht hebben dan in eerste instantie dat ik dacht.
Ik ben Danielle, ik kom uit Zeist en mijn paard heet Sylvium en die is 11. Hij bouwt heel snel heel veel spanning op en dan heeft hij ook heel veel moeite om dat los te laten. Net als ik dus iets nieuws met hem doe, dan krijgt hij een soort van kortsluiting in zijn hoofd. En dan gaat de paniekstand aan en dan kom je er niet meer doorheen. Dus in de shutdown, dat doet hij dan ook echt. Dus dat is vooral een probleem met rijden.
The initial feeling you have from the horse tells you a little bit the kind of anxieties he has in his body, because that'll always restrict movement in them. If you have a horse that's kind of always stepping here and never really gets there, he's probably a horse that's always a little bit not quite totally relaxed. He's relaxed, but he keeps a few cards in his back pocket that says, I'm happy and I'm okay with what we're doing, but if something happens I'm really not, then I have these 2 cards in my back pocket to give a reaction. So as he steps through his body, we want to feel that he has a moment where he totally gives. So first, to get him to totally give, we have to have this looseness he has in this area now, that he gets a little bit like jelly there. So when we push him, he's not getting tight here and moving across. He's staying loose there, and I want it that he's almost a little bit lazy with it, so I can influence the body and have flexion through the ribs before he moves, and then the hind legs not to go behind. There's a little bit together, there's a bit in front, there's a bit better. You have to be patient with a horse like this, but patience is not waiting. Don't wait and do it and do it and do it until there's not a reaction. Look and see what's happening and find the quickest way to get the right response. So here I work, and now I put more pressure because I want to ask a question that he thinks is worth answering. And so here, when I get the wrong reaction, I try to stay. And then, so now he learns more from doing the wrong thing at a level where he can control it. Not that he gets so petrified he wants to crawl under a rock and die, but that he asks enough of a question where he thinks, shit, I have to do something here. So Mummy's not going to go with a bag and pat him, the puppy nicely in a level that he can handle all day long. And then the moment you experience something that's outside the comfort zone, you get the real truth about what he knows what to do. So you have to really feel. Don't go in there to create a reaction or scare him, but just find the points where you know he's insecure. And then make him secure by getting the right responses and going away. And really dig through those bits. You know, find an area when you see, oh, there the skin shivers, put the bag there. And wait and see what happens. There the leg relaxes and he goes away. And if he goes slightly in a better frame of mind or a better posture than when you first went there, then go away. So it's finding the things that can really teach him the concept of what to do, and then not spending too much time on each thing. Ask the question, what's 1 + 1? When he gives the answer 2, go totally away from him. And again, just closing all the doors except the one you want him to go through. And then also looking and seeing when you need to start training again. What process is he in his mind? Is he thinking about turning a bit loose and he's just waiting for the moment where he can feel like there I can really relax? Or is he switched off and he's starting to go somewhere else in his head and you need to bring him back by asking him the next question? Good. So there I go more away from him. So you're just trying to lead him more and more into these positions where his posture changes into a state of relaxation and not in a state of readiness. And the more you go away, the more you hope that in that time that you go away from him, he's thinking, these are the things I need to be doing in the body when I feel something that I'm unsure of. And when you can change that physical action in his body from this to this, he stops being afraid because he knows what to do. So then he thinks it's like a switch. He starts thinking, oh, turn it off. But at the same time, it's giving him confidence that he thinks, oh, I can control the situation here. I can turn it off. And when he feels like he can control the situation, it leads him more into a state of relaxation.
Onvoldoende bespiering maakt de kans groter dat een paard geblesseerd raakt. Spieren zijn nodig voor de stabiliteit van het skelet. Als spieren niet de kracht of het vermogen kunnen leveren dat wordt gevraagd, blijven niet alleen de prestaties achter. Een paard moet sterk genoeg zijn om zijn werk goed en lang genoeg vol te kunnen houden. Anders liggen blessures op de loer.
Hey, Anouk.
Hoi.
Gaat-ie?
Ja, goed met jou?
Wacht tegelijk uit hoor.
Oké.
Ja, dat gaat niet goed.
Ja.
Ik ben Teun Sterk, dierenarts bij Dierenartspraktijk Bodegraven. We hebben een paardenkliniek met uitgebreide faciliteiten voor operaties, kreupelheidsonderzoeken en internistische onderzoeken. Daarnaast doen we veel aan sportpaardenbegeleiding. Het streven is de paarden fit te krijgen en blessures te voorkomen.
Veel mensen hebben moeite om te herkennen of een paard pijn heeft. Het kan al beginnen met lastig gedrag bij het opzadelen of niet helemaal goed willen inbuigen tijdens de training. Het kan zijn dat de spieropbouw achterblijft, ook al train je veel.
Soms zie je een schraal paard die in totaliteit armbespierd is. Maar je ziet ook wel eens een heel royaal paard die eigenlijk te vet is, maar die ook weinig spieren heeft. Het laatste zie je nog wel eens bij dressuurpaarden. Een goede plek om te beoordelen hoe een paard bespierd is de hals. Als we naar de hals kijken en we volgen de bovenlijn van de manen, de onderkant van de werveltjes en de voorrand van de schouder, dan ontstaat hier een driehoek. Als een paard weinig spieren heeft, is deze driehoek hol. Liever heb je dat die gevuld is en dat er een bolletje ontstaat. Een andere belangrijke regio is de rug onder het zadel. Zijn de spieren goed ontwikkeld dat het bol staat, of loopt het juist hier hol weg? Zijn de billen mooi bol aan de bovenkant en als de billen helemaal goed getraind zijn, dan ontwikkelen de spieren zich hier ook heel mooi rond en bol.
Serieuze sporters laten hun paarden regelmatig onderzoeken bij de dierenarts. Zij wachten niet tot er een probleem is. Sportpaardenbegeleiding zorgt ervoor dat paarden gezond en fit blijven.
Bij een standaardcheck worden we als eerste hoe het paard loopt. We bekijken het paard rechtuit en aan de longe. Vaak ook onder het zadel. We bekijken hoe hij zijn hals, zijn rug en zijn bekken gebruikt. Zijn er pijnpunten of zijn er bewegingsbeperkingen? En bij uitgebreidere monitoring maken we gebruik van het prestatieprofiel. Met hartslagmeter en bloedonderzoek. Bij tegenvallende prestaties bekijken we ook vaak het rantsoen.
Wacht niet tot je een klacht hebt. Regelmatige controle door een dierenarts voorkomt dat kleine problemen uitgroeien tot grote, waardoor een paard lange tijd uit de roulatie raakt. Als alles optimaal functioneert, kunnen prestaties verbeteren.
He is probably the laziest, most unmotivated horse you will ever see. He dreams about sitting on the couch and having a beer and doing absolutely nothing. Real guy. Yeah. So he's Sunny Boy Jazz. So the Sunny Boy is Sandra hit, which is you often get a lack of motivation. As you can see now by his natural posture, that he's, raring to go and he's full of energy and he just wants to really get on with it. So it's a little bit the opposite with him. In the beginning he was really reactive from the jazz side to things on the ground and objects. He was spooky if he was riding past something. And also really noise sensitive. If he heard a noise then he'd just blow up and react just for the hell of it. But really from this state, so he would be look like he was kind of relaxed, and then something would happen and then you would have this enormous explosion and then standing still and doing nothing again. So when you want him to work and to be really motivated, he's not. And when you want him to be relaxed and not reactive, then he's really reactive. So with him it was really about getting him to find his own posture. In the beginning he wanted to be on the circle and basically stretch around and scratch his tail on the outside instead of bending here nicely on the inside. And as you can see, he does everything in slow motion. So you really have to have the motivation, the energy in your body to say, come on, it's time to get moving. But in the end it's to be that you can have it good enough in the balance and knowing where that they have to be, that you only have to give a small signal and the hind legs are turning. I can point, give direction. You'll see more clear aids on him because he's a bit slower, lazy and unmotivated. So then he needs a little bit of, oh, do you really mean that I have to turn over there to get going? And it's really important with him that I don't do much of anything, but that I get the right response from the beginning. So that he gets to do what he wants to do the most, and that's nothing, but he's getting it by responding when I ask for something. So the quicker I can get him here to respond here to something, then the quicker I get the release and that he's also taking responsibility for where it is he has to be. So he sees the gap, and he goes there, and when I relax, he relaxes, and then when my energy's up, he has to think, oh, there I have to go again, and that he really looks for where it is he has to be and where he has to go, and that he's a big one that has to take responsibility. He's like a 16-year-old boy that doesn't want to take responsibility, always doing the wrong thing. You have to really kick him in the ass before he's going to do something. Oh. But then you really have to reward him when he shows you the slightest bit of energy. So he really thinks all the time, oh, there, I'm being good. If you're all the time saying, come on, come on, come on, in the end he just thinks, oh, I wish this arsehole would go away. You know, I just get sick of the work, and he wants to go, he's looking at the box before you even start. And so he has to be motivated in a different way, where you really reward him for when he does something really well, and he offers little bits of everything. And so he hasn't done any of these things for quite a long time, but it's just a matter of, depending on the sensitivity of your horse and where his weaknesses lie, that depends on how much you have to repeat it. You know, you don't teach the flying changes once and then they're there forever and they stick perfectly. You know, the horse has to learn how to control himself in that environment where there's noise or a weakness. With all the horses that are a little bit lazy, I try to teach them anything that involves a slight bit of energy. And as soon as he gives me a little bit of energy, whoa, I go away from him. And you see, whenever I go away from him, then he thinks, ah, now I know how to control him. Oh. Till in the end he's almost saying, ah, get out of the way. But then now you see a different level of energy in him. And if you have to push that out of a horse like this, then you get this. Oh, shit, don't make me lift. Do you know how heavy my leg is? But if he thinks I will go away, when he gives that reaction, then he offers it more and more and more. And so I teach them those little things. I also teach them, this is the climbing wall. This is something, so in the beginning, when he's lifting the leg, he was kind of doing less than that, kind of those steps. and really having the feeling that his knee's almost going backwards. So when I touch him here to lift the leg, you know, he's going this way with the point of the shoulder and not this way with the point of the shoulder. So I'm only interested when I teach a horse to lift the front leg that the point of his shoulder here, this part is going forward, so that they're able to learn how and when and why to lift the leg. And then I use the wall. He hasn't also done this for a long time. Oh. So then he learns here to put the leg up and then to stretch the foot down. So the point of the shoulder comes up. And then it becomes a stretching exercise which makes him flexible. Oh. So then, even though it's the wrong thing, it's still a different level of motivation. horse that stands there doesn't want to do anything, all of a sudden he gets sharp and he's active. He's like, oh, come on, let me do it, let me do it. And that's the frame of mind that I want. That's the frame of mind that I want when I'm riding. So then we get the flexibility thing. And so then all of a sudden, you know, you have a horse that has this kind of flexibility and movement. And then the discipline side has to come back. Good boy. Get a little bit energy up. So there he's trying to go the next one, but I just reward him there. So then when you can get a front leg up over the ears like that, you know, after the first week and you start walking, you know, then they come out of the box and all of a sudden, oh, I feel a little bit more flexible than I used to. Yeah, come on. Yeah, yeah, hey. Boy. And so all this, he can do a little bit. Yeah. Oh, all this he can do without feeling that he has a rider and a double bridle and a lot of come on, come on. It becomes a little bit of a game for him, but at the same time he's learning to be self-motivated. Boy. Oh, good boy. Yeah. So.
Dat was de Pavo Tristan Tukkerdag 2015. Ik wil Pavo en Tristan ontzettend bedanken voor het organiseren van deze mooie dag en dat Paard en Lijfstijl daar onderdeel van mocht zijn. Ik hoop dat je deze aflevering leuk vond. Laat vooral weten wat je ervan vond door een reactie achter te laten en tot de volgende keer.